Yeah. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, councillors. Before the meeting starts, I would like to give the normal announcement. There is no fire drill planned for today, so if the fire alarm does go off, please vacate the room and make your way to the car park at the front of the building. Also, could I remind members to please make sure to turn their microphones on if they wish to speak and turn them off when finished. And also mobile phones. He's waving his phone at me for some reason. If your phone does go off, that will be a £10 fine towards the chairman's charity, which, unless it happens in the next minute, will be the next chairman's charities. So, Julie, could I invite you to? Oh yeah. Sorry. Julie, please could you start the recording and live streaming? Yeah, we are live streaming. Right, thank you. Right, Julie, could I invite you to do the roll call, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Councillor Anscombe. Councillor Ashby. Present. Councillor Askew. Present. Councillor Atterwell. Present. Councillor Bambridge. Here. Councillor Bate. Present. Councillor Annie Blackburn. Here. Councillor David Blackburn. Councillor Borrett.
Present.
Councillor Bowes. Here. Councillor Brindle.
Here.
Councillor Marion Chapman-Allen. Present. Councillor Sam Chapman-Allen.
Here.
Councillor Clark.
Here.
Councillor Clausen.
Here.
Councillor Cogman.
Here.
Councillor Cowan.
Here.
Councillor Crane.
Present.
Councillor Duffield.
Here.
Councillor Eagle.
Here.
Councillor Fraser.
Here.
Councillor Gilbert.
Here.
Councillor Harvey.
Here.
Councillor Hewitt.
Here.
Councillor Hunter-Clark.
Here.
Councillor Hussey.
Present.
Councillor Kiddell.
Here.
Councillor Kiddle-Morris.
Here.
Councillor Kybird.
Here.
Councillor Land.
Yeah.
Councillor McCambridge. Councillor Monument. Councillor Morton.
Here.
Councillor Nunn.
Morning.
Councillor O'Callaghan.
Present.
Councillor Oliver. Councillor Plummer.
Here.
Councillor Richmond. Councillor Suggett.
Present.
Councillor Samantha Taylor.
Here.
Councillor Sarah Taylor. Councillor Taylor. Councillor Terry.
Here.
Councillor Turner. Councillor Webb. Councillor Westman.
Here.
Councillor Wickerson. Councillor Wilkin.
Here.
And Councillor Wilkinson.
Here.
Thank you, Julie. All right. Good morning, fellow councillors, officers, ladies and gentlemen, friends and colleagues, both here in the room and those watching online. Firstly, a very big thank you to my fellow councillors for asking me and trusting me to be your chairman for the past year. It has been an immense honour to represent you and the district of Breckland as a whole at many functions and events across Breckland and beyond. It has been a fantastic year. The greatest honour was the opportunity to represent you at the Royal Garden Party at Buckingham Palace. To walk through those central main gates to represent Breckland, along with so many dedicated public servants and volunteers, was a moment of real pride which I will never forget. Another memorable moment was meeting and having a good chat with Phil Harding from the Time Team programme at Grimes Grave's Flint Festival last year, and hear how in digging at Grimes Grave early in his career really inspired him. To speak with someone so deeply passionate about our shared history, and to do so at one of our district's most fascinating historical sites, was both inspiring and a great reminder of how rich our local heritage truly is. Equally humbling has been a chance to recognise the dedication and commitment of our own residents. I've had the pleasure of presenting certificates of recognition to some truly outstanding individuals in our community. people who have gone above and beyond, quietly and consistently, making a real difference to the lives of others. To each and every one of you, thank you. You are the beating heart of Breckland. The other part of the job, of course, is chairing these meetings. And I would like to thank the officers sitting with me and the whole Democratic Services team for making sure things run smoothly and according to our constitution. You've been a pretty well-behaved bunch, which has made my job easier, and I thank you for that. Long may that continue. I would also like to thank our comms team who have organised and helped me and been present at many events and written some great speeches for me. Now, I must admit that not everything I've done this year involved gardens and certificates. The year has given me the chance to help raise some money for two really worthwhile charities, and I could not have done it without your help. As I say, they are our charities of the year, not mine alone. We have representatives from both here today, and I would ask Karen Vincent, the Chief Executive from Big C, to come and join me, please. There you go, Karen. As you can see, we have raised £1,544.12. I'd like to thank the person I would like to thank in particular the person who chipped in the 12 pence. Right, so thank you.
Thank you so much, Keith.
Would you like to say quick something?
If I may
very
very quickly.
yeah.
Just to let you know, Big C is a local charity. It's an independent charity formed in 1980 by two local gentlemen. On average, we support about 3,000 people a year. And with the generosity of people like you, Keith, and those who supported you, is invaluable to us. We receive no government funding, so every penny we spend, we need to raise, and that's on average 3 million a year. So thank you so much for what you do.
Thank you. Thank you. Could I now ask Natasha Butler from East Anglia Children's Hospices to join me, please? I think we have a video to show you.
Video or how much you raise? Sorry.
No, do the video first, yeah. That's quick.
Hello Keith, welcome to UK Parachuting.
Hi.
Shortly we're going to be skydiving together. How you feeling?
Absolutely brilliant. Something I've always wanted to do.
No better day than today, right?
Perfect, isn't it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the occasion today?
I'm raising money for East Anglia Children's Hospices.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So here for a good cause, having good fun.
Yeah.
How are the nerves feeling?
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's ready to go?
Yeah.
Love is unlimited gold. No, it's an abandoned resource.
happy you did it?
Oh, let me goggles.
High five.
Wonderful,
What a
wonderful,
great
wonderful.
skydive.
Cheers.
Would you go again?
Yeah.
Amazing.
So we've seen the video. So with the added money from the skydive, I'm pleased to say that we raised for each £2,674 and 12 pence. Did you put the other 12 pence in the book? Yeah. So would you like to say?
Thank
Quick.
you. As you can see, I mean, the video says it all. Without help from people such as yourselves, and especially Keith, we couldn't continue to do what we do. Keith was fearless on the day. It was incredible. So we're so proud of him and so thankful for what you did. Thank you,
Yeah.
Keith.
It's been a pleasure to do it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So in total, we raised £4,218 and 24 pence for two great causes. Thank you so much for everyone who helped to raise it. I know it will all be put to good use. Right. So with that, I will now invite nominations for a new chairman. Yep, Councillor Wilkinson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and well done. Yeah, could I propose that Samantha Taylor, a very accomplished councillor for the post of chairman, I believe she will serve Breckland in the traditions of which it's used to. So, thank you.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Chapman-Allen? Are there any other nominations? No, in that case, can I show all those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? No, so I'm pleased to say that Councillor Samantha Taylor is duly elected.
Chairman, may I say a few words, please?
Yeah?
Thank you. I'm delighted to support Samantha Taylor's nomination for Chairman of Breckland Council for the year 25-26. Sam will make a great Chairman of the Council as she gets and understands people's struggles and challenges. Having been a business owner myself in the hospitality sector, I know the struggles about keeping a business afloat, paying the wages and suppliers in a most difficult market. Sam is married to a firefighter, knowing full well whenever he runs out of the house, when his pager goes off, will he return home. We should remember the bravery of Jenny Logan and Martin Sadler, who sadly lost their lives last week in a fire at a former RAF base in Oxfordshire. On top of all that, Sam is a brilliant community champion, helping those in need, be that visiting and supporting flood victims in her town or providing free Sunday lunches at the town hall for 50, 60 or 70 people and supporting those to access the help they need. She'll make a great chairman for 25-26. Thank you, Chairman.
If you would like to come up and receive the chain. Put those down.
Oh, thanks, Keith.
There we go. Quite heavy, isn't it? Yeah, after you've had it on for about 2 hours, you'll know. So congratulations. I know you'll make a good chairman.
Thank you, I'll try.
Yeah. And there's your consul's chat. Right. So to you.
Yeah, I'm not that organised. days ago. I said, I don't know. Oh, come on. Where's he going? And there's your pass medal, your chairman's.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right, yeah. Right, thank you for all your support. I'll try and do you all proud, but don't hold me to it. Item 2, can I please now invite nominations for a vice chairman?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'd like to nominate Nigel Wilkins for the position of Vice Chairman. I know he'll make a fantastic job of it. I have the privilege to call him a great friend. I know he's dedicated to what he does. He's fantastic as our Chairman of Planning, and I know he'll be fantastic as our Vice Chairman. Thank you.
Can I have a seconder for that motion? Councillor Clausen.
Yes, thank you, Chairman, and congratulations. Yes, it's my privilege to second Nigel to be Vice Chairman for next year. If all of the review goes as planned, he will be the last Chairman of Breckland, and I'm sure that he will do that in his inimitable style. And he, I know, will be supported brilliantly by Colleen, and he will also have the honour of being the only chairman, other than enforced through COVID with Linda. He will be the only chairman that has served this council twice, and he will be the only chairman that will have a John Deere badge and the new badge of honour. So it's probably why you said yes to it, wasn't it, really? But there we go. Congratulations, Nigel.
Are there any further nominations? Okay, then can we please have a show of hands? Anybody against? Any abstentions? Councillor Wilkin, would you like to come and receive your little box of goodies? Yeah, I'm a hugger and a kisser. You'll have to excuse me.
I didn't get to kiss Keith, but never mind. We're signing.
All right then, we'll move on to, he signed everything, didn't he? Yeah. So we'll move on to the outgoing chairman, vote of thanks. Well, Keith, I think you've done an amazing job. Big shoes to fill. Just going to put it out there, I won't be jumping out of aeroplanes for anybody, but thank you so much for all your hard work for the year. You've done amazing, and I invite Councillor Cadell to add her comments.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations. I would just like to, as one of Keith's posse of women in his little black book that used to accompany him to these events and do's, I can honestly say that he held himself very well, represented the council with integrity and most of all, humour. So well done, Keith. It was an honour to be invited along with you. I wish I'd gone to the garden party, but nevertheless, it was really, really, he did a good job. Well done.
Councillor Attewell.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to add my thanks and congratulations for everything you've done in the last year, Keith. I think you've chaired this council admirably with good humour, which has been needed on several occasions. And I really want to say my personal thanks for the charities you supported. I mean, I went with Keith on the day when he did the skydive, and I had the pleasure of knowing what that experience is like. And you were amazing. You know, you put your heart and soul into it. and you raised some money for a very worthwhile cause, which is very dear to my heart and has particularly helped my family in difficult times. We all know somebody, I think, who suffered cancer, has cancer, and has had cancer in the past. And the Big C appeal, we're very fortunate to have that in our county. Two terrific charities. The amount of money you've raised has been amazing. And I think, Sam, you've got a lot to live up to. And congratulations on your role. I'm sure you do an outstanding job. And we look forward to seeing what you can do in the year ahead. But well done, Keith. And I think I'd have fair to say you're probably the longest serving councillor here, if I'm right. You've been here since about 91, 92. Why anybody would want to do this for 30 years is beyond me, but you don't look bad on it, mate, so well done. Thank you.
Councillor Chapman-Allen.
Lovely, thanks, Chairman. And Keith, many congratulations on what was a fantastic 12 months. As the longest serving councillor of Breckland, you've seen some incredible changes over your time. And I think the stewardship you've undertaken as the first citizen of Breckland across the district, the county, the region, and even nationally has been exemplar. And I think regardless of your views on some of the political activities of this administration, you've always championed the good work we've done across those sectors, both within the voluntary and our business. And that's what being a chairman is all about. Thank you for holding me and my cabinet to account and ensuring good governance throughout the last 12 months. And I look forward to seeing you over the next 24 months before we see out the end of, very sadly, Breckland District Council. But thank you for your stewardship over that period of time.
Councillor Hunter-Clark.
Thank you, Chairman, and congratulations on your appointment. I'd just like to add my thanks to Keith on behalf of the Reform UK group. Over the past year, your commitment to the work of this council, Keith, has been appreciated by us all. And I'd like to put on the record that you've always been fair to me as a new councillor, and I know I've not always made your job easy with my points of order, and I hope obviously our new chairman will continue in that impartial role. So thank you for your service and your contribution, and obviously we wish you all the best in the future. Thank you.
Councillor Cogman.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks from myself and our group as well. And maybe you did take a bit of Labour advice on the old skydive, did you there, when I spoke to you before? And close your mouth, because that is a very strong wind going down. But yeah, congratulations. Thank you.
Anybody else? Councillor.
Thank you. I'd like to say congratulations to Keith on a very well run term of office. Only two things that were missing. One was that someone actually found a parachute for you to jump with, which was unfortunate. And also that you had someone missing. And I'm sure when you jumped out of that plane, she was with you.
Is there anybody else before we move on? No? Okay, then we'll move on to item 4, apologies.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. We have apologies from Councillor Anscombe, Councillor Richmond, Councillor Sarah Taylor, Councillor Webb and Councillor Wickerson.
Thank you, Julie. And we'll go to item 5, minutes. Oh, any further apologies, yeah? Councillor Cogman.
Can I just echo Councillor McCambridge as well, please?
Apologies from Councillor Oliver too.
Right then, now we'll move on to the minutes. I'm assuming everybody's read them. Can we have a vote on the minutes? Yeah, are we happy to agree the minutes? Agreed. Keith's going to sign them. Do you want to do it now or do you want to do it at the end? Yeah. Fabulous, thanks Keith. And then we'll go on to item 6, declarations of interest. Have members any interests to declare? No? Okay then. We'll move on to item 7, that's me. I really don't have many announcements, but I would like to announce my chosen charities for the year, and they will be Nelson's Journey. Obviously, they're a organisation that support children and young people that have experienced death and significant loss of a loved one. I know how much support they gave my family when I lost my son to suicide. So great cause, and hopefully we can do some great fundraising for them this year. And I'm also going to support Chapel Green School in Old Buckingham, obviously special education needs and support school that really does deserve some recognition and some much needed funding. So they will be my second charity for the year. And I look forward to working with you all. And I think that's about it. So thank you so much again. And we'll move quickly on to item 9, questions on notice. Are there any? Oh, leaders. Oh yeah, leaders. I've missed one. I scrolled too far.
I'm more than happy, Chairman, if you wanted to skirt over this item, but
I'm sure they wouldn't take me for it.
good evening, or good afternoon, or good morning even, members of Council. Start the way you mean to go on. Thank you, Chairman, and welcome to Breckland Council's annual meeting of 2025. I'd like to extend a welcome to a new face in the room, Councillor Westman, and congratulate him on his victory in the Thetford Priory by-election a short time ago. I wish him the best of luck on his time at the council, and also like to pay tribute to Terry Jeremy MP, who previously held that seat, for his steadfast presence on this council for many, many years, and on behalf of the people of Thetford. I'd also like to pay tribute again to Councillor Keith Gilbert, who's well known across the whole of the Watton area, including his knees as a previous postie, but more recently around his role as Evel Knievel. If I'm not mistaken, you are the first and only chairman to skydive in your official capacity. Keith, thank you for your hard work again on behalf of this council over the last 12 months. You've led an extraordinary work around 2 charities, but more importantly, continue to raise awareness of the great work undertaken by this council. Chairman, today I'd like to introduce my speech and draw some attention to the incredible work the council's done over the past 12 months, and to look ahead at what we're going to achieve in 2025-2026. We've faced a difficult financial picture, increasing demands around housing and infrastructure being placed on our local communities, uncertainty around local government reorganisation and devolution, and yet members of this council have teamed together to continue to support residents and businesses across this district, and some of those most in need. Chairman, for our Inspiring Communities programme is of particular note. This is an award-winning Inspiring programme acknowledged across the whole of the local government sector. Members of this council agreed a year ago to extend this programme by a further £1.3 million, something district councils do not traditionally do. However, district councils support all of our residents and are in the social care space. With this renewed commitment, we've opened the Link in Dereham, a multi-agency community hub providing access to mental health, employment support, housing and wellbeing to so many across the district, but all under one roof. Working in partnership with Norfolk and Waveney Mind, Talking Therapies, Norfolk Citizens Advice, Nova Training, the Boost Programme, Department of Work and Pensions, and so many more. This is providing a truly wraparound service as soon as an individual walks through that door. Alongside this, we've continued to evolve our affordable food offer by opening up further pop-up pantries in Lopham, Wheaton, Old Buckingham, Swanton Morley, Shipdham, and more to come. But once again, working with the Citizens Advice and the Norfolk Community Foundation, delivering that affordable and nutritious food to so many. But it's broader than that, Chairman. It's about providing that wraparound service to those individuals in our rural areas who's on many occasions sadly go missed. These pantries are being put into practice for our Inspiring Communities programme, and that ethos around enabling our residents to live happy, healthy and fulfilled lives. As does our Mindful Towns programme and our Village Initiative, which continues to go from strength to strength. We now have 12 towns and villages across the district signed up to this. And most recently, Steve James joined colleagues across Norfolk to present this to every other council in the county to encourage them to take up this really important scheme, lifting the profile and ensuring that all of us are comfortable to talk about mental health. Finally, we've relaunched our Inspiring Communities grant scheme, investing a further £300 to support community activities and projects across the district, now up to 2027. This allows everybody in the district to undertake the vital work they do, whether that's grassroots sports, parish councils, religious organisations, or so many more, that we're able to be there for everybody across our communities. In our Thriving Places, Chairman, we're looking outside the Inspiring Communities, but we've helped so many community groups through our Rural England Prosperity Fund and our UK Shared Prosperity Fund. We've launched the Boost programme, a vital programme in partnership with the County Council, being able to support just under 200 residents aged from 16 to 30 to get them back into those skills camps and get a career from that NEET agenda, something which is vital, and as I said previously, something which we couldn't do unless we worked in partnership with the DWP and Norfolk County Council. As a council, we care about the present and the future of our area, but we also care about protecting Breckland's fantastic heritage and rich history. In this vein, we're proud to launch the Swaffham Historic Market Town programme just over a year ago, which seek to build on the success of the Heritage Action Zone, once again demonstrating our ability to bring a range of partners and funders together, including Historic England and the National Heritage Lottery Fund, the Town Council and the Norfolk and Norwich Festivals. Collectively, we're able to bring together a view around what we needed to do to ensure that Swaffham could go from strength to strength and be a destination of choice. But more importantly, allowing the young people of Swaffham to be the guiding light around what they wanted their community to look like and recognising the important history of that market town. This council recognises the role and impact of sports and leisure and how it has on our residents' lives across the district. And that's why we were delighted to secure over £500,000 of funding to complete a new 3G football pitch in Thetford. Due to the match funding approved by members and additional funding contributed by Parkwood and Lex Leisure, our PFI provider, we're able to provide this fantastic facility, being data-led from the FA, ensuring that this grassroots sport can go from strength to strength, providing this much-needed wraparound of access to grassroots sports to so many people beyond that of Thetford. But there's more to come. We're working with the FA around Attleborough Leisure and further providing that facility within that community. This also shows our confirmation around wider partnership and this new government's commitment to the £20 million Transition and Transformation Fund in Thetford, known as the town's neighbourhood board. This town has worked collectively across the years to ensure that its narrative has been understood, but more importantly, that there are so many people who need that wider support and that direct intervention beyond that of the district council. This £20 million will go some way to deliver some really life-changing activities within that town. This isn't about pot plants and new benches. This is about truly innovative activities to ensure that everybody of the town of Thetford and the greater area can understand and fulfil their full potential. Now, Chairman, I've spent much of this statement talking about the big ticket achievements and talking about opening wellbeing hubs, transformation funds, and so on. However, I firmly believe that the value of what we do and the value to our residents goes much beyond that, and it's the business as usual services that our teams deliver day in, day out, week in, week out. So in recognition of this, Chairman, I want to spend some time shouting about some of the services that we provide across the district. Our environmental services have coped with challenging legislative changes this year, particularly around with the introduction of business food waste, whilst delivering an exceptional service with our partners of Serco. Our trucks travel 10,000 miles per week, collecting 4 million bins throughout the year, and we're at a 98% success rate. These are remarkable numbers, far beyond our KPIs. The finance team has produced thousands of payments and dealt with enormous amounts of suppliers, ensuring that 95% of all invoices to our residents, businesses and partners are paid within the time frame. Our environmental team have undertaken 11,000 visits across the year from food premises and so many more, ensuring that the public are safe and healthy. Our incredible housing team has continued to step up to face the immense challenges we face around the national housing crisis, which continue to impact not just Breckland, but the country. We've opened 4,000 cases in the year, and all of these will require attention and detail, and that sympathetic, empathetic view where the resident is front and centre of that approach. All of this whilst managing a reduced number of our household temporary accommodation by some 27% since December. This year, our team has managed to increase our leisure participation to 713,000, the best year since the COVID pandemic, helping to make sure that our district is healthier and people are more active. Our IT team has dealt with 3,000 inquiries, ensuring that you can get on and do the job you need to do, and our communities team have processed over 500 welfare cases directly to them as a team, supporting our most vulnerable. Chairman, the list goes on, and we should be immensely proud of the business as usual services with a value for money which we undertake will be in the lowest district council tax in the country. But Chairman, as we look ahead, I'd like to spend the latter part of my speech talking about the exciting year to come. In Thetford, we've got the town's neighbourhood board working in real partnership to deliver that change. We're excited to see a change in TAC undertaking further youth engagement following the champion of Peter Wilkinson to ensure that youth are front and centre of our activity, particularly around the Boost programme. Boost has seen a large impact to so many people across the district, and we'll continue to support this programme as we move forward. I look forward to progressing the schemes in the Deering Market Town, the Watton Middle High Street, and so much more, all laid out in our future Breckland document, something which we paid for, but our communities drove and our communities shaped in partnership with so many others. This council will continue to work in partnership with anybody who wants to do so. We'll put our money where our mouth is, we'll put our resources where they need to be to ensure that our residents and businesses can thrive. In Attleborough, we're just about to make sure we get the planning undertaken for our new Attleborough Leisure Centre, and in Swaffham, we'll continue to work around the Heritage Action Zone, demonstrating our commitment to all of our market towns. And finally, you may have seen recently our commitment to further advance our rural business offer. Breckland is made up of 50% rural and 50% urban, and our rural business advisors are supporting so many businesses across the district, providing that lifeline of employment, but also careers across our locality. In conclusion, Chairman, our achievements over the last year have been something we should all be immensely proud of, regardless of what part of the political aisles you sit on. We'll not take our foot off the gas, far from it. 25-26 is going to be even busier than previously. We've got so much more work to do, and we must continue that BAU whilst we're dealing with the sword of Damocles of LGR and devolution hanging over us. I want to ensure and place on record to all members of this council, I will work with every single one of you to ensure that our residents and businesses can thrive, and that we ensure that Breckland is in its best place to move into its new iteration of whatever that may be into years 27 to 8. And Chairman, I commend this statement to you.
Thank you, Councillor Chapman-Allen, and we'll move on to questions on notice. I believe there isn't any. Yeah. Okay, then we'll move on to questions without notice. Councillor Cogman, do you have any? No. Councillor Attewell.
Thank you. My question's for you, Sam. It's in relation to the Abbey estate in Thetford. I think some of us received a letter from Councillor Westman this week. I thought he wrote that very eloquently, I have to say. I will just say off the bat before I ask my question, I have already predetermined that application, so I won't be sitting as a voting member of the planning committee in the future. And I assisted Thetford Town Council in their comprehensive response to the existing planning application. I think the current proposals will be a disaster for the residents on the Abbey estate. I wonder what you can do in your role as the leader of this council to bring flagship to the table so that we can have a sensible, maybe cross-party conversation about how we move that project forward. For years and years and years, the residents of the Abbey have been let down by a complete lack of really serious maintenance on that site. I have walked that site, I have spoken to residents, I've even been to the Residents Association meeting previously and spoken to residents, and Flagship have not done themselves any credit with this, and I think we need to show some leadership as a district council through your office to bring them to the table and see if we can move this forward and get them to really seriously take on board the residents' concerns and see how we can move it forward with some better proposals for the betterment of all the residents. And while I'm speaking, I do want to just pay tribute to Councillor Terry Land, who's just stood down as the chairman of the Residents Association. I know he worked incredibly hard on that, and I pay tribute to you, Terry, for everything you've done so far. So Sam, over to you. What can you do to give some assurances and some assistance to those residents?
Thanks for the question, Councillor Attewell, and I just want to place on record my thanks to Councillor Land and Councillor Brindle, who have held me to account and invited me to numerous meetings with residents on the Abbey estate, and Councillor Brindle on numerous times have asked the relevant questions at this committee, at this full council. Just to be really clear, the planning committee is a apolitical forum. It is not whipped. Those individuals sit there, as you quite rightly say, reviewing the applications on a case-by-case basis, and I thank you for your honesty that you've predetermined that application and won't be sitting on that planning committee. I'm not going to comment on the rights and wrongs of the application at this council because I don't want to be seen to be influencing members of that committee within this forum. I place on record that once that application has been heard and the determination has been made either for approval or refusal, it will be for this council to decide what it does following a formal request from Abbey Estate on any land transfers. I place on record again, and Councillor Land and Brindle know this, I'm more than content to meet with them and anybody else in the community of Thetford around this. I know that time and time again, Thetford Town Council and the district and town councillors have held the flagship to account around this, raised quite rightly and honestly their concerns and frustrations at the style and tone of their engagement with residents. And if Councillor Land and Councillor Brindle and others in Thetford and yourself feel that I need to do more in that space, I'm more than happy through my office to arrange those relevant meetings with senior officers at flagship and the residents of the locality of those impacted by this application.
Councillor Hunter-Clark.
Thank you, Chairman. With your permission, if I can just take this opportunity, obviously, to welcome Councillor Westman to the Council and to the Reform Group, and obviously also to Tina Cadell, who joins the Reform Group today. We're growing by the month. My questions to the Deputy Leader, if I may. Residents of Stowe Eden feel deeply let down by the Council's prolonged inaction regarding the serious and ongoing breaches at Cherry Tree Pig Farm. These include, as I'm sure you're aware, unauthorised buildings that significantly exceed permitted dimensions, substantial ammonia pollution over several years, and a lack of planning permission. Issues that were first raised in December 2021. Why has it taken almost 4 years to address these matters? The Planning Committee meeting has now been cancelled on 2 occasions, which not only reflects poorly on the process, but also raises, in my view, serious concerns about the quality of governance at this council. Given the extent and duration of these breaches, can the council now assure residents that a planning committee meeting will be scheduled at the earliest possible opportunity? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the planning department, including the enforcement team, have been working with the local neighbours, the local residents, with the applicant, with the Environment Agency, who, when it comes to things like the ammonia, the noise, the smell, they are the authorising body that sits over that within their permit. So our team have been trying to work as proactively as possible to come up with a solution that suits the permit, which is something which the applicant can actually achieve. We don't want to turn around and say to somebody to do something where they're not going to be able to achieve that. And we've also been, Simon Wood, our Director of Planning, has had numerous meetings with the local neighbours who have felt that they haven't had anywhere to go to for a voice of reason to listen. So our door has always been open. Our team have been speaking with them, have listened to their concerns, have tried to raise them ourselves with the likes of the Environment Agency, because they have not had an open door policy with the locals concerned around this. And I don't think that we've been lacking in any of our duties. We've been trying to work as proactively as possible. The reason that the most recent 2 planning committees have been postponed on this application is because of the amount of national attention that this application has received, and our team felt it right and proper that we went through the additional comments that were received, and we made sure that we're going through them in the right and proper manner. And it wasn't right and proper to bring that application forward last week or the week before's committee, because we just didn't have the time to go through all of those. It's still due to come to committee. In the meantime, an enforcement notice has been served on the farm, and we will wait and see what comes from that. But we will be coming back to planning committee once we've had a chance to go through all of the comments that have been received. There were a significant amount of comments that were received, and the team did need time to go through those. So it is still work in progress. It will still come to planning committee, and it is, like most things when it comes to enforcement, difficult, and it's multi-agency. So thank you for your question.
Anyone else? Councillor Cadell.
Thank you, Chair. I think this might be for Sarah, I'm not sure, but sorry. Can somebody tell me what is happening with the proposed Gypsy and Traveller site on the Dereham Road? I understand, or I've seen it yesterday on the local plan sites. I know there was a stop notice put on it, but it has appeared as one of the proposed call for sites. So I wonder if you could tell me if that is going to actually be a Gypsy and Traveller site. It's a hot topic in the local area. Thank you.
Okay, so with regards to the call for sites, all of the call for sites will be going through as part of the local plan iteration, and nothing has been determined on any of those sites, not yet, so the team are still working through those. With regards to the actual application or the actual site that you mentioned, you're quite right that there is a temporary stop notice which was served on the 28th of March, and that is currently being complied with. And what that does is it stops occupation and any additional caravans being brought on. Like you've said, the site has been put forward as a possible Gypsy and Traveller site. We are expecting an application in the next few weeks. We've served a planning contravention notice seeking details such as the land ownership, the land uses and occupiers, and this has been returned on time. And we are currently assessing that and taking a view to the next steps, which could include full enforcement action. So that's where it is in the process at the moment. I haven't got any more details other than that, but we will keep members updated.
Thank you. Councillor Land.
Sorry, that's me again. So the details are as and how they come in. The types of things that this scheme offers to support are things around grab rails, smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, furniture raisers, door reversals, thumb turns, push button stop cocks for people, battery operated security lighting. Things which really help our residents stay in their homes, remain in their homes, are able to get back in their homes. So it kind of works hand in hand with some of the DFG stuff, what we have going on. And it's a really good help and a really good boost and enhancement to that service. We know that service could do with having more funding come in. So this is a really good addition to that service, and it does help us benefit to just help our residents live healthier, safer ways in their homes.
Councillor Keith Gilbert.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm back. I have some friends of mine who served on Watton Town Council until recently are moving to Staffordshire. I think this is one for you, Sarah. In South Staffordshire District Council, they paid the fee for their searches on the 31st of March, and the results were sent on the 4th of May, 4 days. 4th of April, sorry. I'm getting it low. It took 4 days for South Staffordshire District Council to do the required searches. I'm told that the people who are buying their property are going to have to wait from 4 to 6 weeks. Can you tell me why there's such a discrepancy and what's taken so long for this council to do these, and what are you doing to rectify the situation? Thank you.
Okay, so as we know, when the system transferred over to the IDOC system, the land charges element of that did experience some hiccups. That coincided with the stamp duty increasing. So for a time there, January, February, March, there was a backlog in applications with the team going through those. They are getting quicker. We are nearly back on track. I know myself, I've heard from some local residents who actually responded to me the other day who had actually had their searches turned around within about a week or so within the service. Just happened to be a conversation we'd had. They'd heard that actually they were taking a long time, and they were really surprised at how quickly theirs had come back. Some do take longer than others. We do have to wait for third parties to get back to us on some of the things which are asked for, but they are getting better. If there's any particular ones which anyone thinks are taking longer than they should do, if you could let me know. But the team are working. The backlog, what they had, they worked super hard around the clock trying to get those back on track, and we are now in a much better way of working with those. So if there is anything, I will pick it up with you later. Thank you.
Councillor Terry.
Thank you, Chair. It's a question for Councillor Christian Ashby. Christian, the recent theft of ground cutting equipment from Thetford's football and cricket clubs have severely impacted grassroots sport in the area. These vital pieces of equipment are essential for maintaining pitches and ensuring local teams can continue to play. Whilst the insurance companies take their time to process the claims, it leaves these clubs in a difficult position. Would Breckland District Council consider offering additional support to help them recover from this setback?
Thanks for the question, Councillor Terry. I'm not sure whose remit that falls under, whether it's the Town Council or not, but I'm happy to have a conversation with you outside the room. That's the first I've become aware of the situation, so happy to have a further conversation. Thank you.
Councillor Westman.
Thank you, Chairman, and also thank you, Leader, for your words of welcome earlier. Also like to thank Councillor Attewell for broaching the topic of the Abbey Estate on Thetford Priory Ward, and also Councillor Land and Councillor Brindle for their work earlier with the Abbey Action Group. There is, I fear, a very real sense of stress, distress and anger amongst the residents I spoke to on the campaign trail and then more recently on the estate to borrow your expression, Leader, the sword of Damocles that has been dangling over their heads since 2019. So I've just learned that, Deputy Leader, this is part of your portfolio. If I may direct the question to you, what's happening, please? Can you give us an update for the Abbey Estate residents?
So from a process point of view, we are still waiting for some additional information. Our team are working with the applicant. We've had conversations with Flagship and our housing team, because obviously there will be, in a different role of the council, some housing issues and some challenges perhaps, and maybe some opportunities for some people there when it comes to the housing piece. So the housing team have been working with some of this as well, but we are waiting for the application to come in. We will some extra information, sorry, and we will just make sure that we consult and try and keep people informed as much as possible along the way. These large applications, they are, I mean, as with anything, most normal applications take longer than people would like to have go through. These are really difficult, tricky, complicated, technical applications which do take a long time. And I do feel for the residents, because it is something which you can be really sympathetic to. It's something where they know something's happening, they don't quite know what it's going to be or what it's going to look like. I completely understand that they don't feel like they're being completely taken along the way with regards as to how Flagship have perhaps handled some of their information around this. But we are trying to do as much as we can and working with everybody to make sure that we come up with something what would sort of suit as many people as possible. But we will make sure that we keep people informed, members informed, as to the update of this as it goes along. Thank you.
Councillor O'Connor.
Thank you. Oh, there we go, I'm back. Right, Sarah, I do apologise. One for you. Please can I request an update on the much lamented Akash building in the Deer Marketplace? Appreciate some emergency work has been carried out. However, with the change of ownership, residents are rightfully upset that news concerning the building seems to have dried up. Thank you.
Okay, so with regards to that, I sound like a broken record. It's another one of these things where it is a lengthy process. So as I updated the last time, I think it was the last time we was here, when was it? December. Apologies. It was that way. It was that long ago. We are working towards an enforced sale with regards to the Akash, but these things, like I've said, they are not quick processes. The team are working with the owners. It's taken longer than you would like, but it is the tools that the team have got to try and do the best they can. It's a tricky, sensitive situation. You know, we've got people there that own a property. It's not in the best of health, for want of a better word. It's caused a huge amount of frustration. Completely appreciate and get that. The team have worked the best that they can to try and get the best result possible. I will keep you updated. I don't know whether we'll have any more information come the next meeting, because like I've said, these things do take a long time, but we don't do these things very often. So to get something to the point of an enforced sale does show some commitment from the team that we are taking it really seriously. Thank you.
Before I return to Councillor Attwell, are there any more questions from members? No? Councillor Attwell.
Thank you. My question is for Councillor Ashby. It's really good news about the new 5G pitch in Thetford. I think I sat on the planning committee when that was discussed, and there was quite a bit of consternation, certainly from Thetford members and myself, about what that will result in terms of the Thetford Hockey Club. So now you've got the pitch and the footballers are all sorted out in Thetford. Can you tell me what progress has been made in terms of getting a proper hockey pitch for Thetford hockey team in Thetford, rather than having to travel up to Watton, which is basically where they got booted to? I just wondered if you could tell me if there's any update on that and progress on that project, please.
Thanks for the question, Councillor Attwell. So we had a meeting with Thetford Hockey earlier on this month, and Councillor Terry was involved in that, and we've got another meeting next week. Hockey England are involved now in those meetings to try and find a solution, a practical solution. So there's information that came out within this month's meeting that was very interesting. We've also got the added problem of the additional VAT on private schools that have meant that the solution has been much more difficult than was thought of a few months ago. But I made a commitment to do everything I could within this portfolio to help provide a solution that is workable for the Thetford club. So, and I will continue to do that.
Any other questions?
Sam, it's a question for yourself. Sam, would Breckland send a special recognition to Thetford Town Councillor and respected resident Mac MacDonald? His dedication, both in service to the Royal Air Force and his contribution to the local community, has been truly exceptional. As he takes his oath as a yeoman of the Guard and completed his first official duty guarding His Majesty the King at Buckingham Palace, we hope you can offer a heartfelt acknowledgement of his commitment and achievements to our community.
Thanks for the question, and delighted that Mac is continuing a role within uniform service. As you heard from Keith earlier, the chairman of the council goes around and meets some incredible individuals across the district and presents the chairman's award. I'll be delighted to pass those details on to our new chairman for her consideration, and I'm sure she'll be delighted to come down and meet Mac and soon present a recognition award for all his loyal service to the public across not just the country and the world, but Thetford particularly.
Right, if there's no more questions, we'll move on to minutes. Do members have any questions for Cabinet on the 3rd of March? Can we agree those then? Agreed. Cabinet on the 24th of March? Can we agree those then? Agreed. Cabinet on the 6th of May? Can we agree those? Agreed. And Planning Committee on the 1st of April? Can we agree those? Agreed. Thank you. Item 12, political balance. Teresa, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Madam Chairman, and good morning, members. Today I'm presenting the report regarding the allocation of committee seats in accordance with political proportionality. Since the report has been written and published within your agenda packs, there's been further changes to the political groups within our council and therefore necessary to make further required adjustment to the seat allocations. These changes are crucial for ensuring that the distribution of seats across the various committees remains fair and representative of the political makeup of this council. The political group leaders have been made aware of the revised allocations, and as a result, the following changes are required. The Labour Group will lose a seat on the Licensing Committee and Committee of the Licensing Authority. The Independent Green Group will gain a seat on each of the Licensing Committee and Committee of the Licensing Authority. Reform UK will gain a seat on Planning Committee and General Purposes, and the Independent and Green Group, will lose a seat on the General Purposes and also on the Appointment and Disciplinary Appeals Committee. The non-aligned will have an appointment on the Appointment and Disciplinary Appeals Committee, and for the Conservatives there is no change. These adjustments are crucial for maintaining fairness and ensuring that every political group has appropriate representation across all committees and to comply with Section 15 of the Local Government and Housing Act 1989 and Regulation 17 of the Local Government Committees and Political Group Regulations 1990. Members should note that the political group change happened this morning, that a further report will be brought forward to the next full council to reflect that change. So therefore it's not included in those numbers this morning. The recommendation asks Council that following a review of the seat allocation, the Council agrees the political balance of committees and make the required amendments as outlined above. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Can I please have a proposer and a seconder? Councillor Chapman-Allen and Councillor Crane. Can we please have any questions? No? Right, so the recommendation that the following a review of seat allocation, the Council agrees the political balance of committees and make the required amendments as presented. All in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? One. Can we have your hands up again for extensions, please? That recommendation has been approved. So item 13, annual appointment of committees, chairman and vice chairman, 25-26, and the appointment of the council's independent person. Teresa?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. So in accordance with the Council's constitution, Council is required to approve the committee membership, chairman and vice chairman for 25-26, in line with the political group regulations as just heard. Recommended appointments can be seen in Appendix A of the report. However, it should be noted, as agreed in the previous report, of those changes. So we need to make sure that those changes have happened. In addition, following a rigorous interview process, Council are asked that under the Localism Act 2011, the new independent person, Mr. Robin Laird, be appointed for the period from 22nd of May until the annual meeting of Council in May 2027. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you. Councillor Suggett, do you have any amendments?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, we have. On the licensing committee, I would like to please remove Taylor and place on that committee Councillor Gordon Bambridge and Councillor Claire Bowes. On the governance and audit committee, I would like to place William Richmond onto that committee, please. And on overview and scrutiny, I would like to place William Richmond on as a substitute. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Cogman.
Okay, so on licensing, the removal of one is Councillor Annie Blackburn. And then just to confirm that then on planning, we still have Councillor Annie Blackburn, Councillor Harry Clark and Councillor Sarah Taylor as the main people, with the substitutes being Councillor David Blackburn, Councillor Mike Brindle and myself, Councillor Cogman. I think that's all ticked off that way.
Thank you. Councillor Hunter-Clark.
Thank you, Chairman. I'll be coming off licensing, and Tina Cadell will be our member on that committee. Planning Committee, Councillor Westman will be our member with me as substitute. Overview and Scrutiny, I will become the member on that committee with Councillor Hussey as substitute. And General Purposes, Councillor Cadell as our member and Councillor Westman as substitute. Hopefully you got all that.
Sorry, Councillor Attewell, I skipped you. So do you have any amendments?
Please. So just to confirm the seats for the committees that we have places on. So planning will be myself as the member with Councillor Gilbert as the substitute. Overview and Scrutiny will be David Wickerson as the member with myself as the substitute. Governance and Audit, David Wickerson will be the member with Councillor Peter Bate as the substitute. And on licensing will be myself and Councillor Gilbert.
Thank you, Councillor Attewell. Are there any further nominations? No. Are there any questions? No? Okay, then. Teresa, could you please read the recommendation?
Thank you. So the recommendations are: number 1, that Council appoints for 2025 to 26 the committee and panels membership in line with the political group regulations. Number 2, that Council appoints the chairman, vice chairman of those committees and panels, subject to any changes that may be notified by the group leader. And number 3, that under the Localism Act 2011, the new independent person, Mr. Robin Laird, is appointed for the period 22nd of May 2025 until the annual meeting of the Council in May 2027. Thank you.
Could I please have a proposer and a seconder for that? Councillor Chapman-Allen and Councillor Cowan. Thank you. All in favour? Anyone against? And any abstentions? Thank you. Item 14, representatives on outside bodies for 25-26. Teresa?
Thank you. Today, I'm presenting the report concerning the appointment of representatives to outside bodies for the municipal year 2025 to 26. Currently, the Council appoints representatives to 39 different organisations. These appointments are made for several reasons, including responding to invitations from the organisations themselves, or to ensure the Council is effectively represented on relevant national and local forums and groups. I'd like to draw members' attention to a minor update within the report, that the Thetford Town Board has now been renamed the Thetford Neighbourhood Board, and the leader, Councillor Sam Chapman-Allen, continues as the Council's representative on that body. Members should note that there are no current vacancies on outside bodies as set out in Appendix A of the report. Therefore, the recommendation asks Council to appoint the most suitable representatives to serve on the list of outside bodies, taken into account of the details highlighted in section 1.2 of the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. Are there any questions? Councillor Attewell.
Yeah, just a query, if I may, regarding the Norfolk County Playing Fields Association for Councillor Ashby. Last I heard, that was being wound up, and Community Action Norfolk were dealing with the trust document and the Charity Commission. So I'm not sure that there's a committee there to sit on. You might just want to seek clarification from them, please. Thank you.
Any more questions? Right then, Councillor Suggett, are there any changes? Councillor Cogman, Councillor Attewell, Councillor Hunter-Clark. Great. Item. Oh yeah, Teresa, can you please read out the recommendation?
Thank you. So the recommendation asks Council to appoint the most suitable representatives to serve on the list of outside bodies taken into account of the details highlighted in section 1.2 of the report. Thank you.
All in favour? Oh, I need a proposer and a seconder, but you're all in favour, so we're all there. So, proposer Sam and Jacob. Got me all flustered now. Look, I was thinking nearly done and we'd gone well. All in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? You're welcome. And then item 15, amendments to the Constitution, if any. No, we have none. And then item 16, any other items which the chairman decides are urgent? And I don't have any. Right, guys, let's go then. Thank you so much.